Good morning. This is George Kahn, and this is today's Quiet Echo. I read the paper in the slow hour, after the breakfast plates are cleared and before the lunch crowd comes in. And lately, it is the same sad story just about every week. Another familiar name is shutting its doors. Another chain you grew up with is filing for bankruptcy. This spring, the small ones started going down even faster than the big ones. The folks who keep track of these things say small business bankruptcies have jumped by nearly half this year, filing at a pace we have not seen in a very long time. Not the giants, the little places. The kind of place I have run for 31 years. I read all of it standing behind a counter I happen to own. And I want to tell you something the news never seems to tell you on the morning a place you loved goes dark. Because I have watched it happen up close, more than once, and the papers get the reason wrong nearly every single time. I do not say this to feel clever about it. I say it because I nearly went under myself twice in 31 years, and I know exactly why I am still here and the diner is not. It was not the sandwiches. It was the deed in the drawer. They call it failure. They say the place just could not compete, or the customers drifted away, or the cooking slipped, and every so often it is true. But most of the time, it is not true at all. Most of the time, the place was full. Most of the time, people loved it, and it closed its doors anyway, and everybody stood around shaking their heads saying, "What a shame, what a shame," and not one soul thought to ask the single question which actually explains it. Who owned the building? 31 years ago, when I bought this place, I scraped together every dollar I had, and every dollar two different banks were willing to lend me, and instead of renting a nice storefront like a sensible person, I bought the walls. I will be honest with you. It was the most frightened I have ever been in my life, signing my name to those papers. My hand was shaking. And it was also, it turns out, the single smartest thing I have ever done. There is a paper in a drawer in the back, a little yellowed now, saying this building is mine. Some mornings, when the news is bad, I go back and look at it. It is the most boring, most beautiful thing I own. Everybody told me I was a fool. Renting is smarter, they said. Renting is flexible. Do not go tying up your money in bricks and mortar. And for a good many years, right there on paper, they were absolutely right. And then I watched what happened to the ones who rented. There was a diner, 1 county away from here, packed to the walls every single weekend for 20 years. Best pie anywhere around, no contest. And then the building got sold to some fellow far away who had never once eaten there, and at renewal time the rent simply doubled. And the best pie anywhere around was simply gone. The diner did not fail. It was evicted, right out of its own success. I drove past the place just last month. It is a nail salon now. The pie is gone from the face of the earth, and nobody ever wrote a single word about why. Here is the thing I can see, standing behind my own counter. The thing the bankruptcy page is never going to print for you. A business renting its home is only ever one bad winter away from the street. One rent hike, one decision made by somebody far away who has never met you. It does not matter how good you are or how much your town loves you, but a business owning its home, free and clear, can have itself a miserable February and miss a payment and pull its belt in a notch and still be standing there when spring comes. Owning your own roof is not glamorous. It is slow. It is deeply unfashionable. It ties up money you could be off doing clever things with. But it is also, I have come to believe, the whole entire ballgame. The clever money rented, and it borrowed against everything it had, and it sold off its own buildings to strangers. And now the clever money is the money filing for Chapter 11. And the plain, unfashionable fellow who owns his walls and owes nobody a dime is still standing there, slicing his ham. Here is what the news has exactly upside down. It feels sorry for the small owner, and it fully expects the giant to win in the end. But the giant is the fragile one. It has been hollowed out from the inside, and now it pays rent to itself on the very buildings it used to own outright. And the small owner, the one the news pities, is very nearly the only thing in this whole economy actually built to survive a hard year. The tortoise, as it turns out, owns his shell. So here is what I would say to you. Go to the places you love, the ones still with their lights on, and go spend your money there while they are open, and not after they are gone and it is too late to matter. And if you ever get the itch to build something of your own, some little shop, some trade, some small good thing with your own name above the door, and you find yourself choosing between renting something big and grand right now or owning something small and plain, free and clear, I will give you the only piece of business advice I have got. Own the roof. Oh no, bye. And be there in the spring. The front porch is open. Was there a place you loved, one everybody still misses, gone now? The readers of the Cedar Valley News would like to hear its name and whether anyone ever asked who owned the building. We are gathering to share our stories and keep company with respect and no party lines. Come sit with us. I will put the link in the show notes. This is George Kahn, your host for today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open. This is Cedar Valley News.